It's Columbus Day, and you had Cam out there, which this is not surprising at all. You've maybe seen this clip, maybe you haven't. But it's not just her, but of course she's the so-called, nominee on the other side, installed as the nominee, but the nominee nonetheless. She came out at an event and used it as an opportunity to slam the explorers who came and kind of rewrite history the way that the left likes to do things around here. Let's listen to what she said, and then we'll discuss.
It is an honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
Okay. So first of all, you came from a Jamaican slaveholding family. But I mean, honestly, this is the most liberal, progressive, Democrat, whatever BS thing ever. Just stop it. It's more of being ashamed of who we are and how we got here. Is everything been perfect? No. Has there been mistakes? Yes. Have we corrected most of them? Yes, except for booting y'all's ass out of the country. But like we've made lots of mistakes. We've also corrected lots of them. And when it comes to this whole thing, because they want to call it Indigenous Peoples Day, I like Indigenous people. I like the Native American community. I have no problem with them whatsoever. But at the end of the day, some bros came on boats, got off, and won. like this was just an exchange of how things go. Like if you're upset with them, Cam, you would have hated my ancestors. Like, dear Lord, actually, she might have liked him just because they get physical. But this is just such a lazy, stupid thing to me. And I think the holiday's dumb in the first place, to be clear. But you can't just be like, it's not about this anymore. It's about this now. It's about the Indigenous people, and we're going to call it two different things. It's like having two national anthems now, which they want to do. It's like, no, this is what this is. This is who we are. Like it, don't like it. Celebrate it, don't celebrate it. I don't know a damn person in the world who celebrates Columbus Day, but this whole argument of hers and this whole statement of, but we cannot forget. She goes all somber there. Stop it, girl.
I love when they talk about imperialism and colonialism when the left does, because it doesn't take into account the whole look at history. If she wants to talk about Europeans coming over and spreading disease, yes, there was smallpox, but in 1493, that's when syphilis starts in Spain. So some of the sailors were doing something here with some of the indigenous people and brought it back to Spain. Okay, so you've got the syphilis outbreak of Spain. So okay, syphilis, smallpox, they're both diseases that were spread to people who hadn't been exposed to those diseases before, right. But it works both ways. But this is like the most intellectually lame argument that the left makes, because if it isn't for exploration, if it isn't for Western civilization exploring South America, North America, Central America, Africa, nothing is done in those places, because you have the indigenous tribes that are there all fighting with each other. And if you don't think that the tribes were fighting with each other, you've got another thing coming. Read the book Empire of the Summer Moon, where it goes into great detail of how the Comanches just... Are you okay?
Yeah, he's trying to sneeze, but it won't come out.
Just destroyed. I think it was the Utes that they would terrorize.
Yeah.
So, and when I say Utes, I mean the tribe, not youths like in My Cousin Vinny.
Are you saying youths? Youths is a great scene. No, to me, we're erasing history. We wouldn't be here as a country if Columbus didn't come over here and find the land and all that stuff, but whatever.
Erasing it and simplifying it, kind of to several of your points, but this goes along with, my biggest problem with, and I feel like this got a lot louder when, Obama was in office and then ever since, is any time that people talk about our past or our current state or whatever, and they talk about it with shame in their voice. Like this country has given you the opportunity to go and do great things, and this country has done great things, but none of it happens without everything else that has happened before. So that is my biggest thing. Like we always talk about here, if we can agree that our country is great and has great potential, and we like the flag, and we stand with our hand over our chest for the national anthem, we've got a great starting point. But when you hate those things like they do, you hate the way that we live and are free, you hate our God, and you feel like we're this awful, awful place and you're ashamed of it, like, we're just done. Like, I just don't, because you're dumb enough to go down that path and believe it, and particularly the ones who preach it all the time, like those are their principles. That's who they are. That's what they really believe. Like, once you're that far down, like, we have nothing left in common.